You are listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast. This is the place where content creators come to learn how to create profitable content that positions themselves as an authority and grows their online businesses. Get ready to take your content to a whole new level with your host, Kristen Poborsky.
Poborsky, and I'm here to talk to you today about 4 hacks that will instantly help you look better on camera. So there's 4 quick tips I'm going to walk you through today. 1 is how to relax. 2 is how to practice so that you show up better on camera. 3 is going to be all about your posture. And number 4 is about preparation that's going to really make a difference, okay? So at the end of this video, I'm also going to answer a couple of questions. 1 is about teleprompters, and 2 is more tips on what to do to prepare in advance for video shooting. So before I get all into today's topic, I just want to share with you really quick who I am. I'm Kristen Poborsky. I'm a content creation expert. I help coaches and therapists and healers dial in their content creation strategies and create content that helps them attract more leads and clients into their practices. So let's dive into tip number 1, and that is some quick tips on how to relax in front of the camera. Okay, so relaxing in front of the camera is so important because nobody wants to watch a video where the person is just really stiff and can't talk and it makes them uncomfortable. So what's going to happen is if you're uncomfortable, your audience is uncomfortable, and they are not going to want to stay and watch you. Now, I know when you're getting started, because if you go back and look at my old videos, some of them were pretty stiff and I was very uncomfortable. So it is so important to get yourself into a comfortable state of mind, state of being before you shoot that very first video. And you want to do this because when you're comfortable and you show up well, you come off as being the expert and you build that trust factor with your audience. So the more natural you are, the more fluid you are, it's just going to come across as instantly a better video and that you're going to look like the rock star that you are. I personally have gotten feedback from my students that I've gotten so much better because I have practiced. I have filmed myself, watched myself, and I have practiced. So really, one of the things to do is practice. And the other thing that I always do to help me feel more comfortable and relax is I always have a script. I have that script. I don't read it, but I do have it in a place where I can look at it. I have it in a couple places. Sometimes I put it on my tripod. Sometimes I have it on my screen right where I can look at it. I have it there for the comfort factor and to keep me on track, but I always know my subject. I don't really need that script, but just having it there makes me feel more relaxed and comfortable. I also do a couple of practice runs. I do practice runs and I talk to myself before I sit down and have that very first video. And I allow myself to mess up. I also allow myself to have imperfect videos. And the last thing that I do is when I'm talking to the camera, I'm not thinking about 1,000 people. I'm thinking about one person. I'm not even really thinking about somebody out there. I'm just really thinking about my subject and I'm just letting it flow. So that's why having a script and sort of a general way that you always do your videos, sort of a template that you use, and I do use a template, it helps me relax considerably. I used to type everything out and then I'd be kind of compelled to want to read it and don't want to do that at all. Another way is to really I used to put the camera and everything on the other side of my desk and sit in front of the desk. And I don't do that anymore. I just kind of sit down in a chair and I talk to the camera. Sometimes I'll even get up and walk around, but I am moving. I've got my hands and I'm feeling okay to do that. I just don't really have a good setup where I can walk around too much. And so I do tend to sit, but I don't put it on the other side of a desk just because I feel like that gives off an energy and it makes me feel like more I'm like a boss talking to employees, which just doesn't make it feel like conversational. So I also try to tell stories in my content. I tell my own experience. I share my own stories. That helps me feel more comfortable and come across being more relaxed and more relatable. Okay, so relaxing and being comfortable and knowing what I'm going to talk about and having a script all really go hand in hand. And then I guess the last thing with relaxing, it's just going to take time and practice. More time in front of the camera, more practice that you do, the more comfortable you're going to feel. And getting myself out of the perfectionist mode really helped. I was fine if I have a blooper or something that comes across and I have to back up and go, whoa, I didn't get that right. It's okay to do that. You just come across being more natural when you do that. Okay, so number 2 is really practice. So before I sit down and film any video, I always have a little practice session. So I usually batch my videos. So I usually have that practice session at the very beginning. And I like to batch my videos because I get more loose and more just maybe probably more relatable. Just I feel better when I get to, this is my 3rd video that I'm shooting in a batch, and I'm way more comfortable than the first one. So practice really does help. And when you batch, you find that by the time you get to your 3rd or 4th video, you're a lot more comfortable and fluid. So practice and time, repetition, also watching yourself really helps you go, oh, I don't really like that I did that on there, or, oh, I like that. Or watching other people and practicing what they do. Try to always be yourself and don't be someone else. But there might be some things that you see someone else doing that you want to use in your own videos to improve your content creation. Okay, so the next one is posture. So you don't want to sit hunched over. It's really important to sit up and have your shoulders back. So I usually sit in a chair. I sit on the edge of my chair. And the more you sit up and less hunched over, you know how it is, like people will cross their arms. There's a thing called the fig leaf when someone stands up and they've got their hands like down. You can't see because I got this up too far, but they got their hands like this or their hands like that. You don't want to be that person that's hunched over, has their hands like this or arms crossed while they're talking. It just doesn't make you relatable and open. So be okay with kind of using your hands. If you're a hand talker, make sure that you position your camera so that you can see your hands, right? It might be even better if I took this and just you can see my hands more, because I just or I could sit back and you can see me more, right? So you can see me more, you can see my hands, you can see, I feel a little bit more open when I'm not so close, right? You can always edit everything when you go into your editing. So posture, making sure you sit up instead of like that. Don't sit with your arms like that. If you're really stiff, I maybe move forward, move back. If you're really stiff, then I really suggest you get your tripod, and I've got one over here. I've got I've got a whole list of equipment, which I'm going to add in the notes below, so you can use the same tripod that I use. I think it's super cheap, but use a tripod and get up and walk around. That's totally okay. If that loosens you up, then get up and move around. You definitely need to move around, because the more static you are, the more stiff you are, the more boring your video is going to be. So don't be afraid to do those kinds of things when you're shooting your video. Then hack number 4 is preparation. Preparation. You always want to have a script. I talk about this all the time. Know your subject, create a quick script, have an outline, and if you prepare, you do a little run through, you're going to be golden. You'll just be fine, and just be okay with doing it in one take. If there's a little stumble, nobody cares. You just come across as being natural. People do not want to watch an overproduced video. They just want to see the real thing. And if you're less intent on having a polished, perfect thing, your energy, you're going to just relax, have fun, share your knowledge. You're going to be way more relatable if you do it that way, and your video is going to be that much better. So there you've got my 4 hacks. Number 1 is relax. Number 2 is practice, practice, practice. Number 3 is standing up and posture. Don't hunch over. Smile. That's a good one too. I don't always remember to smile, but the more you smile, the better your energy. And number 4 is preparation. So for those of you who want more tips on creating profitable content, I've got the Profitable Content Creators Guide. It's a quick roadmap that will help you know the steps that it takes to create content that will help you attract more clients and more leads into your practice. The link is down below. And let's dive into my questions for this week. The first question is, should I get a teleprompter and read my content? No. I know a lot of, I get this question quite a lot, especially from my clients that are creating a course. They want to know, they think that they've got to have it all laid out and, have a teleprompter and read through it. Trust me, you do not want to do that. Whether you're creating a video for YouTube, for content that you're training, things like that, you do not want to use a teleprompter. You should know what you're talking about. And if you want to just, do slides, that's okay. Then you could read your notes. But if you're live on camera, I really say you should not be reading your notes. You should know your subject, kind of have an outline, and know what you're going to be talking about. It'll come across so much easier. And trust me, I have created so much content and so many programs and training videos that even just for my team, teaching them stuff and sharing, I want you to do this, that. My best videos are when I just sit down and I do them and I share what my knowledge is. Those are the best videos that I have, and they're way less stressful to make, and I can generally get them done in one take, no problem. So no to the teleprompter unless you absolutely need it, but I kind of think that it's, unless you've got like a simple outline and you use it as an outline to keep you on. But in that case, why not just tape up a piece of paper with your outline to your tripod, or have it on a whiteboard or an easel and stand in front of it? Why not do it that way? Why spend money on a teleprompter? Okay, so the answer is no. Don't go the route of the teleprompter unless you absolutely have to, because I just don't think it makes for an engaging and natural video. Question number 2 is, what should I do to prepare in advance for my videos? Okay, so how I shoot videos is that I batch create my content. So meaning that I number one, do my content plan. Okay, it's done months in advance. I know what I'm going to create. Then I sit down the month before my content goes live and I spend one afternoon batching my scripts. Okay, maybe it takes me an hour to do 4 or 5 scripts. It doesn't take me long because I just don't feel like I have to write everything out. The less I write, the better off it is. So it probably takes me 10 to 15 minutes to write a script, and I just sit down, get it all done. So 1 is I've got my plan. 2, I batch create my scripts. Then before the day of my shoot or before I do my shoot, I print out my scripts and I pull together, and I've got them down here in a pile, my outfits, because I'm usually filming at least 4 to 5 videos at once. So like in between, I'll be wearing the same bottom, but I'll just like change my top. So it looks like I am wearing different outfits. I'm shooting on different days. I also take photos every time I shoot my video and I change my outfit. I take a batch of photos first so that I've got content for social media, for blog posts, all kinds of things that goes into my photo library because I never know where that's going to go. So I also then, I should have backed up and said, I figure out what location I'm going to do it in too, right? Because you kind of need to know what location it's going to be in and then do a test run. And then I do that of the day and then I've got all my outfits. So, but those are all planned in advance. I don't do it the day of. I might do my test run through because you just never know what I'm going to need that day as far as lighting, because it could be different. It could be a dark day like today. It could be sunny. I just don't know. So you always have to do sort of a test right before you go live so that you know your sound, your light, your location is the best location for that day, time, and weather. So that's my answer about how to prepare. It starts months in advance with the content plan, then the scripts, planning the outfit, the location, and then taking the photos before I finally sit down and shoot the actual video. So there you have it. If you haven't gotten your copy of the Profitable Content Creators Roadmap, it's down in the show notes. And get on the list for my next upcoming 12x content beta test, where I teach you for free how to create video content, stream it, and turn it into multiple pieces of content that you can use out on social media. That link is also in the notes below. I teach it every quarter, so you might you'll have an opportunity to take it very soon, if not that it's live. And I'm doing my next one coming up in a few weeks, so be sure to grab that sign up below and get on the waiting list. And if you like what you've heard today, definitely subscribe, leave a comment, ask a question. You never know. I might answer your question in one of my next upcoming broadcasts. Okay, so have a great day and keep creating content.
You've been listening to the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, where content creators go to learn how to take their content creation to the next level. If you love the Profitable Content Creator Podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. Until next time.